Okay, so in today's video we're going to be covering the main fundamental that I think is most important to being an accurate shooter, and that is trigger pull. We're going to start in the prone position, supported, show you a dry firing drill that I do. Helps you learn how that finger is moving, what's happening with it, especially when looking at a target. Then I'm going to show you unsupported so you can see a little bit more of that movement. Then we'll go on to pistol a little bit, just very briefly. This class is going to be a very, very, very basic class, nothing too crazy. Start the video, weapons clear. So, what I like to do, I'll either put a target out there, I'll shoot from the unsupported position in the prone. I like to do that as a beginner because it really shows the mistakes that you're making. Or if you're really, really, really bad at holding the weapon, you can go into the supported position and fire from there. Basically all we're doing, letting all the air out of our body. I'm going to take the weapon off the safe. You can either put your thumb on the left side, wrap around, grab the grip, or you can put your thumb off to the side right here, rest it on the safety. It's kind of like a thumb lever. It allows you to relax your fingers a little bit more, but you're also not able to just grip the rifle. Experiment with different things, see what works for you. One thing you can do, you can either take a bullet, you can balance it on the end of your barrel, you can balance it on your pit rail, you can balance it on your scope like this, get into the position you want to be in. You can use quarters. Quarters are the easiest out of all the coins. Balance it right there. Set your shot, get your target, and pull through your trigger. As you see, the quarter did not move. Move down the coins to get a harder challenge. The hardest coin being a dime. If the dime does not move and your sight does not move, that means your shot is going to hit your target. Now, let me show you what I'm doing with my finger, where it's being placed. We are placing the trigger shoe itself in the middle of our pad. So in between our tip and our first knuckle, right in the middle of that pad. You can see that there. Get some different angles there. When we are pulling the trigger, we are pulling it as linear as possible. So as forward, straight and back as possible. We're not pulling off to the side. We're not pulling the gun inwards. That'll allow for inflection in your wrist and it'll pull your shot off to the side, left or right, depending where you're aiming. So we are pulling that as linear as possible, as smoothly as possible, and one way it was told to me, let the shot scare you. You don't want to know the shot's coming. If you understand your weapon, you understand your trigger, you're going to know when the shot's coming. So, don't rely on that tactic, the whole, let it scare you and it should just happen. Just pull your trigger nice and smoothly, focusing on your sights, ensuring no movement at all. I will demonstrate this with some other platforms, and then finally on pistol. Next, we're using my Ruger 1022 to show the supported, supported, unsupported kneeling position. So what I'll do, I'll get back on my right knee, my dominant knee. I'll sit down on top of my foot itself, place my front leg out in front of me, place my knee not on my elbow, but that soft point right behind your elbow where it meets the tricep. That'll allow me to rest. I want to soak into this position. So if that means I need to roll my ankle or anything like that, I need to settle into this position. So I sink into it, I'm able to get a good shot. Take my weapon off safe. Next I will show from the standing and then pistol from the standing, and then that'll conclude our video. clear, I will show from the standing. Standing, legs squared up, slight bend in the knees, hinge forward ever so slightly at the hips. You can either, if you're wearing body armor, it's recommended that you square up to your target so your body armor is facing your target, or you can angle yourself at your target. I personally recommend squaring up towards your target. We're placing the weapon in the crux of our shoulder here, in between our pec and our delt. There's like a little soft spot there. It'll just lock in there, and we're gonna lock our elbow down. The only time you're gonna be using this wing shooting is for like big bore weapons, like freaking hunting in Africa and crap. If you know who you are, you know who you are. Everyone else on earth, it is recommended, no more chicken wing. We're not doing this chicken wing. Put your fucking elbow down. Lock the gun into place. Pull back with your right hand. You're gonna be pulling down with your left hand to compensate for recoil. Hinging forward ever so slightly at your target. This hand, you also want to kind of point your elbow down, allow you to support a little bit better. And again, same thing for the trigger, just pulling it nice and gently straight back. Now for pistol. Now for the final one, pistol. I'm using my FN. It has the worst trigger in a striker fired gun. Okay, that's not true, but it has a really bad trigger. It's super heavy. It is also recommended that you use snap caps when dry firing if you care about your gun, especially if it's a rimfire. If it's a rimfire, you kind of have to, or if it's a really old gun. Modern handguns, you don't really have to, especially like Glocks and stuff like that, since they're meant to be dry fired in order for disassembly. But it also helps you give you a little bit more real feel when you're training. So, again, establishing our grip, pushing out to our target, placing our finger on the trigger, and pulling as linear as possible. You don't want to see any movement at all. I'm going to get super close for this, so you can see that there's no movement in the gun. I hope there's no movement. I would have looked really stupid if there was. It's freaking hot. I hate Texas. Can I just say that? Houston, Texas is so fucking hot. It's the worst. So, use these tactics and drills that you've learned in order to get better as a shooter. And remember, perfect practice makes perfect. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.